All right, so the last person said y'all couldn't hear me. Is that true or not? Because I was talking, and I don't know why the volume wouldn't be working. Why did I capitalize that A and not I? Something about a capitalized I is a little ugly to me, but hey. So, for the next couple minutes, subscribe. It's free. Like this video is also free. 5 minutes. Hey, wait. This is so stupid. 5 minutes away. Perf. So sad. It's just like so sad. What have y'all doing? What is going on? Who's that? I don't know you. You're new here. Hello. Hi, how are you? Wait, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. Hello, how are you? My name is Kev. I would assume you are Nivea. You know, welcome to the live. Did you subscribe? Did you like the video? That's what's going on. Subscribe is free. Like this video is also free. I'm 5 minutes away. We have now have arrived. Hello, everyone. Join in, gathering. You know, no need for the big applause and celebration. Stop. No, what's up, y'all? For the people that's in my live, I'm just on here building a rapport with my people on YouTube. I might have a show on YouTube called The Kev Gotti Show. I'm a media personality, part-time on-air personality for a bunch of stations. I've been all over, interning, you know, just trying to get in the door. I'm in the 20s, you know. We was just talking about that on one of the previous lives. Someone said that everybody in their 20s are children, or still in the third, but you know, the statistics say people in their 30s are not even, you know, more advanced than most 20-year-olds. Mark the year 2025, that's last year, you know. So I'm just going off the statistics of it, but you know, I'm doing a lot of moving. But you know, they like to say that, but you know, I'm just here building a rapport. I want to talk to y'all. What's up? Who's all in here? Comment, say something. Nivea? How are you? You know? I'm gonna get into some topics in a second. I don't want to keep starting every video just by jumping into what I have to say or what I have to throw to the table. I do want to come over here, conversate with y'all, get to know y'all a little bit better. Yeah. That's really my spill. All right. First Q&A is going on the Kev Gotti Live. So answer it. Where should you go for a first date? Let me know something, y'all. All right, y'all, it's me. I'm back. Where should you go for a first date, man? Let's get into the conversation. They don't even need to play. Everybody that join there catch the replays as they do. Y'all won yesterday. Shout out to everybody that has been tuning in. You know, I don't expect y'all to be on here live. It's the middle of the day. People have work. People got kids, getting off, picking kids up from school, whatever the case may be, man. You know, but I do appreciate everybody that makes sure they join in and catch the replays. I always try to come here and bring worthy content, and I also try not to report like anybody else is reporting. My news is always, you know what I have been noticing, my news have been coming before all of the blog news, and then they start to report on it later. But you know, that just makes me pat myself on the back. Go ahead and do that, because it just shows me that, you know, what I'm doing is actually in line. And you know, with publications, I love that I'm always ahead of the stories. Like yesterday, I think I talked about a couple things yesterday. I know we talked about Sherry not returning. We talked about a little bit about the Epstein files, which I try not to, you know, go into too much of that on here, because I don't want to structure my page around politics. Now, any World Now news that will be going on, I do try to address and talk about, simply because, you know, it's important that you share that with people that may not be in tune, because I know a lot of people don't even watch the news. And I can speak for myself. Up until the ending of last year, I tuned out the news, because I felt like the news would only show, well, let me just be transparent. My mom used to watch the news 24/7. Like, waking up, going to school, you know, she got the news on full blast, looking for the traffic, the weather. You know, when she get home, that 5 o'clock news segment is on the TV. Like, I think that a certain generation grew accustomed to a lot of things, and TV was one of those. The news was also another one. And sticking on topic with the news, I just think that the news filters what they want you to see. And I realized that it brought me a lot of anxiety and worry that I did not need. And I noticed that they only focus on the bad when it is the news. You don't ever watch the news and you say, okay, that was a good segment of the news. You know, you watch the news, you may have a reporter that may be at a new place, that may be lunching, but then they go back to the studio, talk about weather, then they go back to a field reporter who may be in a neighborhood that's somewhere in your community or not far from you, where, let's just say, God forbid, 3 children or 3 adults would just, you know, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying, but I can't say those words on here. You know, so it's like the news, I felt like, always gave me a extra layer of anxiety. And not even just that, those were just more of a relatable thing that I think reaches across the board with everybody. But even with weather, you know, a lot of people don't like to look at the weather, because they say, oh, they said it's gonna be this, and then it turns out to be that. But I know for me, I did filter out the news until up until about last year. Now, that does not count for things like CNN and World News. When I would go to radio stations and I would have to check in on day-to-day things, I would see stuff then, and of course whatever comes out on social media. But minus me, there's a million other people in this world that just uses Instagram, your TikToks, your Facebook as their primary news source, and it's why they miss a lot of information, or they are also fed misinformation when it comes to presidential things. For instance, Donald Trump, a lot of the things that I know, narratives that people were pushing off, were either fake news, or some of it was true, but it just was not being reported on. You know, not even just a presidential thing. I think that, you know, just all around, the news filters what they want you to see for that area. I have never watched one news publication and it has not been like I left feeling positive about it. Now, you shouldn't feel that about it, because it is the news. You know, are we getting into what the news actually really is? It is for the news. So it should give you all of those segments. But, you know, it just really gave me a layer of anxiety. So up until last year, I did not watch the news. I just started watching the news here recently, and I made the comment, I'm like, hey, maybe it's because I'm getting older. I feel the need to watch the news now. But I just really, for a long time, disliked the news. Even when I was in college with my field of study, you would think that I would be trailing behind certain reporters. I have my moments. Even if you guys go to the bottom of this YouTube, on my page, I think one of the first videos that I should do, because this used to be a joint page, user UM6. Hey, what's up? I always go to the sauna. You always go to the sauna. Interesting. User 6FX. What's up? I always go to the sauna on the first day. The sauna? It's a little weird. I don't know. You gotta tell me more about that. Give me a little bit more information. So, yeah, I just feel like That's just what the news was about. If you go down to the bottom of this page, like I was saying, we did a mockery of I won't say a mockery. We mocked a news station, me and my co-host. This used to be a joint page when it first started out back in 2018, a long time ago. That was when YouTube was the smaller YouTube and not the big. That was when YouTube was really catching a break, when influencers was coming around to getting on here and the word YouTubers was a thing. Now people been posting on YouTube since as early as 2006, but when it comes to the whole prank wars and all of those things, I think that group of people was different and that house wave was different in 2018. It was Queen Naija, it was Armand and Trey. Perfect Laughs is now her correct name. You got to give it to Chris. I know a lot of people like to give Chris his flack because of the relationship with him and Queen Naija, but Chris was one of those beginning people that was doing it. Trey Bills was another one. Ari was another one. It was so many people that was on that YouTube wave before it was like the known thing to do. Like, we didn't even have YouTube live back then, and if we did, you had to have over a certain number, which I think is still applied today, but I think that YouTube has made it a little bit more user friendly. I actually love just the aspect of YouTube. Like, somebody was saying that they just want the internet to crash, well, social media, and to be completely honest, YouTube doesn't fall under the social media umbrella. YouTube has been established for so many years. I've been around to see when Instagram was rolled out. I was around when I seen that Instagram was only for iPhone users. I seen the rollout of Snapchat. I seen the rollout of Kik, and I seen Kik also go away. We seen the rollout of Vine, and we also seen Vine go away. But YouTube is just a real structured platform, and it doesn't fall under the social media umbrella. So if social media crashes, I would be pleased, because I think it will give everybody a reset, because everybody online now feels the need to pop up a podcast mic, feels the need to interview someone, and all of that is cool. By all means, do what you need to do to get your money. There's room for everybody. But the problem that it's creating, it's hard for people like me that is in this room that, we already are fighting to get onto the business side, which is changing so much, which will revert back to the Sherri Show firing. But if we go back months before then, they had already came to New York Radio and shook things up. Ebro in the Morning show was canceled. Miss Jones on the Block was canceled. So Andy said, well, a good sauna has a healthy bar, in quotation marks, smoothies, relaxation rooms where you can chill, a swimming pool. And the thing is, if she likes going to the gym or doing things for her health. Never thought about it that way. I guess if you are a gym guru, then that's something that you would do a lot of. But I think that most females, and probably speaking for, others, that won't be the ideal first date. They'll probably attack you on that. I like that, though, because if somebody be like, why would you want to take me to sauna? You can hit them with that. Like, why wouldn't you want to be healthy? And if that's my lifestyle, you should be able to come, let me see you work out and everything. Oh, no, that may be a little wild for the first date. But that's very creative, though. Like, that is very creative. I like that. I like the aspect of that, because it's like, okay, let's go work out. I ain't got to do nothing, spend too much or do anything on you, because I think that's another problem when it comes to going on first dates. You're always feeling like you got to spend hundreds of dollars to, I guess, maybe show out or prove something to that first date. And you don't even know if it's going to be a second date. So that's a good one, because on my membership, I get a +1. So let's go to the gym. That's a good one. I like that one. But yeah, back to what I was saying, it just shows that the landscape is changing, and I'm still waiting on a statement to know what did it mean by they're looking for another place to take the program. When it comes to Sherri Show being canceled, they were saying they were looking for a new place to take the program. I don't know what that means. A lot of people is hinting that daytime TV will no longer, but I just feel like if the news publications have been able to sustain so many years, then there's no reason why daytime TV should be going anywhere, because generations before us, like my mother, my grandmother, and shit, maybe even her mother, that's pushing it a little bit, but maybe even her mother, they all was around for daytime television. Daytime television has been like a placeholder in homes, and not just in homes, in schools, in like doctor's offices. Like, that's like a norm. That used to be the time where you can get that, some clean programming. You can kind of get updated about the world. You can get a little pop culture or reporting going on, and it's not really the so seriousness of the news. So it's just like to think that daytime TV would just be blank. It just really like it hurts the future of a lot of things. And yes, the digital world is everything. Yes, advancing is something that we have to do. Growing and changing is going to be a forever evolving thing. But it's very hard, you know, being a person that was here from the beginning of all of the technology to seeing the advancement of technology through the years as it's continuing to grow and to see the things that we're losing that I feel is the most important to growth and development. And it goes beyond daytime television. It goes with children just simply learning. Like, it's just so much that they have pulled away from and stopped funding because of online. Everything is just this virtual digital world. I wouldn't be connecting with you guys if it wasn't for a virtual or digital world. So I'm not complaining, but like I said, certain things for growth and development are just needed. And, you never know what a TV show that was good for development they have took off, like the PBSs of it all. You never know how much that helped a family or it helped a child that was not getting, that extra learning that they may have needed, whether they was a latchkey kid, latchkey kid, or, parents just didn't have the means or it's just a lot of things. And beyond that, people learn different ways. You may not have went to school and learned by seeing it. You may need to visually watch it to understand. It's a lot of things that I think is just gonna hurt us moving forward, and a lot of people are not paying attention to that. A lot of people don't really care. It's all about what we can get for now and not thinking about tomorrow. And I think everybody should be thinking about tomorrow and not the moment. Like we all say, live in the moment. That's like a gift and a curse. Because living in the moment can make you blind to everything that's going on around you, and it can cap you to just be right here, and you can't see over here. The downside of all internet dating is that it makes it impossible to approach someone in person because they're simply not used to it and expectation rise. So I wasn't talking about internet dating per se, but internet dating is very weird because internet dating can mean so many things. I've never participated in really like the whole dating apps of it all, but I know a lot of people that do. And I think that, that world has become something else. That world has not really more focused on dating. It's more so become like a hookup culture. And then it's not really anything carried out on dating because you have access to so much. So you access to so much at the palm of your hand, you don't even need to. I think that the best way to approach somebody is, approaching them in person. That's going to be the most real and authentic way. Greatest love stories come from online dating. Personally, I'm an in-person type of thing. I may see somebody on Instagram or something and try to shoot my shot, but it's still going to take that approach in person. Now, with that being said, how long is too long before you should be going on that first date with someone? Like, how long is too long before y'all should be already on that first date? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? After that initial meeting stage, because I hate that stage where it's like, oh, I don't really know you, you don't really know me. We doing the good mornings, the good nights, the how your day going, how are you? But we ain't really getting into the black and white of it. We're just doing the colorfuls of it. We're playing the Crayola game. We're just picking colors and, hey, how you doing today? Hey, good morning. All the cutesy, whatever. But when are you gonna? How soon is too soon before you have that real first date where you're discussing your pet peeves, where you're discussing your likes and dislikes? It's like, when do we get to that point? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? Is it 4 weeks? Is it 5? How long is too long before the first date? After that initial meetup stage. It's a couple of y'all in here, so I want somebody to chime in. It's your boy Gotti. Don't be afraid. I do not bite. And plus, I'm behind the camera. All you can do is subscribe and like up. We just have a conversation here. Grown, good conversation. It's a couple people in here chime in. How long is too long before the first date? Let me see if I can change the Q&A to the updated Q&A. I don't think I can. We'll keep that one for now. How long is too long before your first date after the initial meeting stage? Everybody's don't all speak at once. Please don't all speak at once. I wonder what the numbers be doing that, or is it real, or are those like bots? Because I notice when you say certain keywords, a drastic amount just always dips. But I'm cool with filtering out the bots. Subscribe up, like the video. It's your boy Kel Gotti. But I'm gonna say, for me, 2 weeks is good enough. I just go ahead and answer it. After the initial meeting stage, you got about 2 weeks to get in line to either let's go out, let's do something, you know, whether that's lunch, whether that's breakfast or dinner. There's something that you should be doing. That's also true. One should be upfront from the beginning about what one hopes to gain from chatting. You know, that's very much true, but got to be completely honest with you. You can go into something like, oh, we just FBs, and then you go over there and you do your thing and you leave and it's more than FBs because they didn't caught a vibe, or you know, they didn't know that you have a dope personality. They didn't know that, you know, you would be receptive to maybe them, because a lot of people deal with their own insecurities. So it's a lot of different things that can go into that and can be a reason on why, you know, it can change. I definitely agree one should be upfront. But I've seen in my case, oftentimes, you know, people be like, oh, I just, you know, I'm just whatever. Then why now you want a date? Why now you want, you know, you need this attention? Why now you're requiring this or that? So, yeah. And Andy, I hope you're subscribed. I appreciate you for chatting with me today. Is your birthday 12/26? That marks you a Capricorn. I'm gonna hope that's not your birthday though. Capricorn's weird, but you a guy, so that's different. Y'all cool. Female Capricorns is a little weird, or maybe that's just some play on numbers you like. I don't know. I'm just assuming that's your birthday. I don't know. But yeah, man, I don't know. Yeah, so if the internet ever decides to crash, I'm one of those that support it. And they want to just take it down for like a week or 2 weeks. I'm one that support it. Now, what I do know that it will affect is a lot of online businesses that operate off of promotions, operate off of Instagram story promos, and, you know, all of the things, and getting the name and word out. But I think that it would definitely give us a reset to give everybody a chance to go back and touch grass, because a lot of people are not touching grass. And, you know, people say the term a lot, go touch grass, to like try to be funny or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people really need to go outside and touch grass and get out of that internet persona, because, like I said, you got people walking around, their only news source is the Shade Room or Neighborhood Talk or online blogs. Like, you don't have people that can say, oh, I watched Channel 10 News and they said that they're giving away turkeys next week in Manhattan. You know, like just small things that I think people don't really into. I guess. But like I say, I like to, and nothing that you're saying is wrong. I just per se, I like to live in the real world, and I live by real scenarios. So I always keep it blanket and clear. Like I'm just very blunt with it. Like from the jump. If that's what you wanted, if you called me over here because you wanted the FB, then let me be that FB. Don't let me come over here and be FB and then you get a piece of FB and now that you got a piece of FB, FB is leaving and you wanna, hey FB, we go on a date, can we, like, don't do that, because that's when the signals get mixed. Or, you know, reassure that. I don't get friend zones. Let me just keep it a stat. I don't get friend zone because I am the aggressor in every situation, and I would just say in the situation. So I set the tone. I set the pace. I don't allow anyone to set the tone and set the pace for me. I'm gonna set the tone and set the pace every time. That's just me personally. In like middle school or something, I probably got friend zone or something a couple times. I know in middle school I did get friend zone a couple times. I'm not even gonna say a couple times, but I was a child. Like in adult life, as a male, I am the aggressor. I set the tone. I set the pace. Now, if it's to a point to where I feel like, you know, because all the time it's not gonna be just that smooth transition. It can be a situation to where they could just be trying to hang out with you or vibe with you off of things that you have or things that they think that you have, or they need a lunch buddy, they need a dinner buddy, they need somebody, you know what I'm saying? Oh no, I hope you don't think this is about for me. I'm just generally asking a question. Nah, I don't therefore be direct. Yeah, I'm speaking for the people. I'm speaking to the people about conversations that I have. That's what I do with my content. It's just not personalized to me.